Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, September 22nd. Fall is starting to make its appearance here in Oklahoma. It is nice and cool. I'm loving it. I would rather have hot than cold, but fall is like my perfect. Not only is it deer season, but it is just the perfect weather. We made a comment yesterday morning working car line that this is football weather, and so I love me some football. I love me some deer season. I love me some fall weather. So that just encompasses everything for me for fall. So it's awesome. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd. Today is See You at the Pole Day. So students, teachers, just all over the country, maybe even all over the world, will be meeting this morning at the flagpole outside of their school to stop and spend some time in prayer over their school, the students, the teachers, the faculty, all of that. So that is just, to me, that's special because as students, as a previous student, not too long ago, getting to take that time and say a prayer for the school that is that you're spending so much time at. But then also for schools all over the country, all over the world, just, it goes back in my mind to childlike faith. This prayer of a child is something special because they don't know the darkness of this world as much as us adults do yet. They might know some of it, but they don't know like the main. They don't know how dark it can be. And so the faith of a child is something super special. And so getting to I've kind of been in charge, I guess, in a way. Everything's kind of been done, but I've just kind of been the ringleader of it all. So getting to do that as a first-year teacher has been stressful because I want it to go really well, obviously, but also very rewarding that they have entrusted me with that. But I am looking forward to it. Going to have a speaker that's going to give a short message. Going to have my speaker, like not a like my legit music speaker, blasting some music. Going to have donuts. Going to have some juice. Just got to spend some time in prayer for our school, for our world, and just get to fellowship together to start off Wednesday morning. So that is going to be special for all of us, but especially for me to get to stop and look and see kids' faces that I interact with on the daily that are so willing to show up and profess that they believe in Jesus enough to come stand out at this flagpole when their friends might not agree with that. So our title today is You Will Make It. It says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you cross rivers, you will not drown. When you walk through fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not hurt you. That's Isaiah 43:2. Great verse. I love that verse because it's just so full of God's protection for us, that even though this stuff is going to happen, God's still going to be right there with us every step of the way. So do you know the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? So this was actually one of our Next Gen stories this past summer, was Shadrach and Abe. Fun fact, I showed animals all through high school, started in middle school, showed all the way through high school. But each year I kind of had a theme for my animal names. Maybe they all start with the same letter. I did Disney characters one year. I did, what else did I do? I did 3-letter names one year, but I did Bible characters one year. And so I had a Shadrach and Abe. That is what we called them for short. I had Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego one year for my sheep names, but we called them Shadrach and Abe for short. And so that has always been, whenever I talk about this story, that's just what I do, is I just shorten those names because I'm so used to doing that. But this was actually a Next Gen story that we did this past summer. It says they were 3 young guys who didn't bow down to the idol as their king had demanded. Instead, they worshipped God, So the king threw them into a fire. The miracle was that they did not get burned at all, and everyone believed in the one true God because of their faith. So the king told them to bow down and worship this idol that he had built. And Shadrach and Abe said, no, we're not going to do that. They said, we believe in the one true God, and he tells us not to bow to any other God but him. So Shadrach and Abe were super brave, and they continued to, every time that the horn or whatever would sound, and everybody was supposed to bow to this idol, they wouldn't do it. And so the thing about Shadrach and Abe was they were in high favor with the king. They weren't just some people. The king liked all three of them a lot. And so for him to throw them into the fire was not easy because he liked them. They were, they worked kind of hand in hand with him. They were some of his most trusted people. And so for him to have to go and throw those people that he relied on for so much into the fire, that wasn't easy for him. But the one thing that he said before he threw them into the fire was, may the God that you worship, I might not be saying this correctly, but paraphrasing, may the God that you worship save you. So King Nebuchadnezzar had this kind of thought in the back of his mind. Whenever I read this story, I think that he had this kind of, this thought in the back of his mind of maybe their God is real and maybe he can save them. Like, I like these guys, so maybe this God is real and he can save them from this. Maybe, we'll see. But they walked out of there with no burnt clothes on, no singed hair, no smell of smoke on them whatsoever, and it's just incredible. My dad is a firefighter, and so I've grown up, he'd come home from calls and have that smoke smell on him, and so that's a smell that I've actually grown to kind of like, because whenever I smell that, I think of my dad, and so like I kind of like that smell because I've been used to smelling that on him. And so I know that like he could not go into a burning building. He could just be at the scene, and he's still going to come home and smell like smoke. But these guys actually went into the fire and came out and still didn't smell like smoke. It's crazy. It says you can have faith like these guys. Sometimes you don't want to have bad or sad things happen. But you can believe that God will rescue you. When God saves you from hard times, other people will know that you have an awesome God. So whenever these three came out of that furnace and were completely unscathed, King Nebuchadnezzar said everyone will bow to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He made that clear. He said, this God is something that I don't want to mess with, basically. And said, everybody, instead of bowing to this idol, you're going to bow to the God of Shadrach and Abe that they worship, because he saved them from this burning furnace. He's the real deal. So whenever we go through hard times and we have a faith in God that everything's going to work out, and people look at us and they're like, man, your life is falling apart around you. How are you not freaking out? How are you so calm about it all? And we can say, because we have faith and trust in Jesus. And they're going to see that, and they're going to see that there's something different. That what is this faith and trust? Who is this Jesus guy that you're talking about, that you're telling me that you have enough faith and trust to not freak out when everything is falling apart around you? When rough stuff comes our way, how we react to it, how we trust God with it, is so important, because people see that. People around us see that, and they can see Jesus through us that way. It says, Jesus, I pray that through my faith, people will see that you are awesome. God is incredible. God is almighty. God is awesome. And through the way that we react in certain situations, people can see how awesome he is. Now, life is not going to be easy, and I know I am 100% certain of that. Life is not going to be easy. It's going to throw you curveballs every step of the way, because that is Satan. Satan is going to throw you every curveball that he can muster to try and get you off course and get you away from God. But God is always going to be there every step of the way. We just have to call on him. We just have to have enough faith and enough trust. And I really want to say faith, trust, and pixie dust. That's the Disney lover in me. But we just got to have enough faith and trust in God that he's going to carry us through. Rely on God, whatever your situation is today, as hard as it may be, as much as you want to humanize it and try and get control of it. Because I am just as bad as the next person as far as wanting to try and control something. But here's the thing, we cannot control everything. We just can't. We're humans, we're not meant to control it all. But here's the promise, guys. Here's the great thing. We don't have to, because we have Jesus. We don't have to control it all, and that's okay, because Jesus is in control of everything. So therefore, Jesus has got us every step of the way. Everyone go out, have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week. I will see you on Friday. And as always, say it with me. Be the example.